But let's get to our new special guest on the phone with us. He is a critic from New Jersey. He's written not only for TotalTheater.com, he's written for US 1 newspapers in New Jersey, and he is currently the president of the Outer Critics Circle Awards. Now, the Tonys aren't the only New York Theater Awards, just in case people aren't that familiar with all. There's the Drama Desk, the New York Drama Critics Circle, there's the Lucille Lortel Awards, the Obie Awards for Off-Broadway. They all have different kind of things and rules. There's the Pulitzer Prize for Drama, which wasn't even awarded this year. So the Outer Critics Circle covers Broadway and Off-Broadway together in a certain kind of a way. But we'll have the president, Simon Saltzman, tell us all about it. Simon, you there?
I sure am, David.
Hey,
thanks so much for having me on your show.
Oh, you're
I have
welcome.
to make a correction, though.
Go
I am
for it.
not the president. I am the acting president of Outer Critics Circle. And the reason they gave me that title is to make sure every day I remind myself that I shouldn't be the overacting president.
Oh.
And if you do a really good job, you could be nominated for a Tony Award.
That's right.
Yeah, and also, hey, to Jeff, it's nice to be invited to a menage a trois. I haven't had that pleasure in a while.
Wait,
Simon, you
when did you? Whoa, Lucianne, you freaky girl.
Simon, did you live through those 60s too?
She's listening on the computer. I locked myself in a different room. So, by the way, I'm not using a cell phone. Isn't that great? So we don't have to worry about being disconnected.
That's wonderful.
But I'll send you the bill.
Thank you for using
and you
a
don't have to
landline.
worry about being kicked out of History Boys either.
Oh,
Right.
Exactly right.
So,
Listen,
Simon,
I want to
yeah.
go back to one thing before
Sure.
we get started on the categories that you asked me to discuss. Jeffrey Sweet was talking about a play by Nicky Silver that he loved. The play was Beautiful Child, and I agree with him. It was one of the most amazing, memorable plays. I think it's maybe his finest play. I'm a Nicky Silver fan.
Oh, me too.
But I thought that play was really unnecessarily trashed.
I was one of the people trashing it. I loathed it.
Really? Well, I think there are
God.
two schools of thought on that. I thought it was a very, very deeply committed play to the theme that he was dealing with. It was magnificently acted. Well, we don't have to belabor that.
Do you like Edward Albee?
Do I like Edward Albee?
Yeah, do you like his
He's
work
a very
in general?
nice man.
Of course I do.
And, I mean, not just Virginia Woolf, but
Did
his
you like
stuff.
Seascape is
Yeah,
a
that
good
kind of
question.
Because if you
Well,
like Albee, you would have liked Beautiful Child, I think. It appeals to the same... Hello?
Yeah, I'm right here. I'm listening. I have very mixed
He's not on
feelings
the phone.
about Seascape. I'm not in that corner.
Well, anyway, let's talk about the two categories that we have lined up.
Biggies.
Big ones for Simon Saltzman. Leading actor in a musical. We have Michael Cerveris, Sweeney Todd, Harry Connick Jr., The Pajama Game, Stephen Lynch, The Wedding Singer, Bob Martin, The Drowsy Chaperone, and John Lloyd Young, Jersey Boys. Simon, what are your thoughts?
Oh God, this is rough because I think I really liked all of them. You're probably going to want my
So it's
guess
like all
as to
Stephen
who's
Lynch
gonna-
all the time? Is that it?
I liked all of them. Certainly, it seems to me everybody that plays Sweeney gets a nomination. That seems to come with the territory. And Michael Cerveris is just amazing in the role.
Do you think his winning last year will hurt his chances this year?
Probably. They'll probably say enough is enough. Bob Martin is also incredible in Chaperone. He's a real find, and certainly he's the hilarious center of the show.
But do you think that the fact that he doesn't sing...
I think it might help. Might actually help.
Really?
Yeah.
I kind of personally would be kind of upset. Although I loved him, I just don't want to see him win because I don't want to see someone who doesn't sing get that back during the musical.
Yeah.
Well, I understand your point, but he is the heart and the soul of this show.
Oh, absolutely.
And as a matter of fact,
Well,
as far as I'm concerned, the performance that he gives is the equivalent of a singing performance. I mean, he sings for me. That performance was just so lyrical. And
it touches home with a lot of us. Anyone who's ever sat with their records, who takes care of their records and listens to their old albums, all the old shows.
He plays a character that I think many of us can, if not personally relate to, knows the guy next door that's this character.
Mm-hmm,
and certainly those of us that are so closely connected to the
But doesn't
industry.
that go to the writing of the show rather than the acting?
I think it's all. I think the ensemble is so connected.
Mm-hmm.
The whole piece is such a beautifully put together, original piece, from the music to the book to the performances. I think you could feel the love and the incredible comradeship in this show.
Mm-hmm. So is Bob Martin your choice for leading actor in a musical?
No, my leading choice, and if we're gonna skip over Stephen Lynch, who is incredible, is really wonderful in the Wedding Singer.
Oh, I'm so glad. So I'm really glad that people
like
have nice
him.
stuff.
Oh,
to
he
say
was
about Wedding
wonderful.
Singer.
I wish I could.
I thought they all were, actually. I thought the whole cast of Wedding Singer was pretty good.
I enjoyed the show. I mean, it's inane, it's silly, it's a ridiculous show, but it's very, very entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
Very entertaining.
Sometimes you just want to turn your mind off and say, let me see a fun show.
Exactly.
And I hope it does well.
I think
necessarily
word of
Tony's,
mouth is very good on this show, from what I can gather.
Good.
Well, it's the big bridge and truck people who can't get tickets to Jersey Boys if it's sold out.
Right.
That's what they're going to go see is Wedding Singer. But so you were going to say you were.
So then we have to go on to Harry Connick Jr., who is incredible and
fabulous singer, but I don't know about the acting so much.
Well, I enjoyed the performance. It was also a performance that made you sit up and watch and really care. I mean,
did you like the thing?
First of all, he sounds like old Blue Eyes when he sings. That's a plus right there. But I thought he was dynamic on the stage and really made the Pajama Game. It's one of my favorite musicals. Talking back about Drowsy Chaperone and a guy playing an album. I remember as a teenager when the Pajama Game opened. That's giving away something, isn't it? Playing that album till you couldn't hear it anymore. I played it constantly over and over. So I mean, it's a show.
Here, listen.
Woman, I'll tell you.
Tell me what's
who loved a woman.
Oh, that's great.
She was one he threw a dragon for.
Am I allowed to admit that I saw Janet Page and John Reid in the original?
Sure.
But me, I love you more.
Tell me, yeah.
It was great. But I think I guess we're going to get back to John
I feel
Lloyd
like a
Young
teenager again now.
And that performance was tops. I think he's a shoo-in.
Really?
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, I don't think there's any competition there, frankly. I think it's because the combination of not only the singing, but the depth of the acting. This is a performance that really transcends the general musical comedy performance or the musical theater performance expectations. I think I had the pleasure of seeing it twice, and I was able to really appreciate the work, the technique, and the complete commitment that John has to the role of Frankie Valli.
Jeff, who's your choice for leading actor in a musical?
This is one of those. It's a very funny year. There's either all these categories that I really don't care about. It's just like who cares? But this is one that they have so many good people.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Michael Service, but again, he did win last year, and why give him 2 in a row? Make him work again next year.
Well, don't you feel that it's a shoo-in for John Lloyd Young?
It sort of is because people really, really love the show. However, it's the Bob Martin thing again. I loved his performance, but I don't know if I really want him to win. But I think it's going to be between Bob Martin and John Lloyd Young, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, well, that's right, but I think that John is going to do it.
I think probably.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it the second time with a real audience, not the usual press crowd, and those people were just going.
Well, he's very good.
Bananas.
And now there are 5 women who are pretty good in their job too.
Not bad.
Which are vying for leading actress in a musical, and the nominees are Sutton Foster in The Drowsy Chaperone, LaChance for The Color Purple, Patti LuPone and Sweetie Todd, Kelly O'Hara for The Pajama Game, and Chita Rivera as herself in Chita Rivera, A Dancer's Life. I think that was a stretch of an acting job there, wasn't it?
I think so.
I mean,
in a sense, I think that's just sort of filling out the category. We've got a lot of that, but we don't have to belabor that point either. That filling out the category.
Yeah, but shouldn't that have been a special event?
Right.
Shouldn't she have been nominated for special
absolutely. But
instead of granting carte blanche to Sarah Jones from Bridge and Tunnel.
That's the one thing about this year's nominating committee. I think they unnecessarily really dropped a lot of shows that could have been in there, but they really are pushing for Drowsy Chaperone to sweep in their nominations.
Well, I think it could easily be, the Avenue Q of this year. Because I think up until the time that Drowsy opened, certainly the favorite was Jersey Boys.
Yeah. But I don't think it's anything like Avenue Q, because I think
I'm talking about the musical that starts out with little fanfare.
Right, but even when
on Broadway.
it was up for the Tony Awards night, people still thought Wicked was going to win.
Exactly.
I mean, and I think most people kind of know that. I mean, I think that Drowsy Chaperone's going to win Best Musical and pretty much sweep.
The only thing that's going to stop that is, there's a huge block of producers from Middle America, and once you get past the metropolitan area, you're not going to have a lot of people that are really going to dig the whole theme, concept, and aura that Drowsy Chaperone creates. It's definitely a big city show. Whereas Jersey Boys is the kind of show that every theater across the country is going to want to have in their theaters.
But what you put it this way, Jersey Boys is a guaranteed lock to tour and for people to love everywhere. Yeah. Maybe they want Drowsy Chaperone to get the Tony win so that they can say the Tony win Drowsy Chaperone and make it more appealing.
And isn't it really more of a show? It's original.
But let's get back to the women, by the way.
Sorry.
Yeah, we somehow sidetracked
Well,
on here.
I hope the Tony voters are not going to forget the really great performance LaChanze is giving in The Color Purple. I know there are many that don't think that it's a great show, but when you think of the sprawling story that it gives, the chance that LaChanze has to grow and to evolve over the course of an evening,
I didn't buy her as an old woman. I saw an actress playing an old woman gumming her food and stuff.
But she did do she really did a very good job in the role. It's a tough role, but you're right. I also, at her old age...
I'd like to see her win it. I'd like to see her win it because, Patti LuPone is astonishing and as Mrs. Lovett and Sweeney.
Because that's all we thought.
Yeah, but that, it's sort of like, sure, she did what we knew she could do. Sutton Foster's eccentric with all that acrobatic dancing and Chaperone, that stopped the show in its tracks, and it was hard for her to stop it considering her co-star there, although it's a title role, it's really a supporting role. Best level is a showstopper. Those are two amazing performances, but I don't know if...
but she's not really... She doesn't really have a leading role.
I know.
It just feels more of like
supporting.
an ensemble.
Yeah.
That's one of the categories they really should have is Best Ensemble. Just the way the Outer Critic Circle has the Best Ensemble.
We do on occasion. We didn't have it this year for some weird reason. I don't know why. Oh, I know why. For the first year, the Outer Critics decided to have an outstanding new score, which we never had before, and we're thrilled to have that. And I'm in because I worked very hard to I campaigned for that, if that's the right word. And, of course, Drowsy did it, those two great composers. I think the score is wonderful, by the way. I can't wait to own it and play it in the car.
And play your record all the time.
Yeah. Let me ask you, Simon, you were at the Outer Critic Circle Awards, what was it, a week or two ago?
Not only at them, I presided over them.
You presided, yeah.
But actingly.
Any great...
not without overacting.
Any great quotes, any great thoughts or memories from that evening?
Oh, the food was excellent for a change.
Well, aside from
where was
for
it?
A change? Oh.
No, they came through for us. They had a really wonderful dinner.
Where was it held?
At Sardi's, in the Eugenia Room on the fourth floor. It was my first year, and it was a difficult undertaking for me, especially getting everybody seated at the tables they wanted to sit at. The nice thing about Outer Critics is that the press are seated with the stars, the celebrities. It's like a party. So there's no separation. There's no class distinction, as it were. And are you there?
Yes.
Okay. Somehow
No, we're here.
Okay. And everybody schmoozes and parties, and there's no TV. The conversations are light, and everybody's on their
It's a very
like
comfortable
behavior, but relaxed.
Okay,
enjoying
Simon,
each other's company.
one last question, actually, before we let you go. We have this next category. Stay with us while we do it, because I want to hear your thoughts on revival of a musical. Now, there are only 3 listed. I think there were only 3 revivals of a musical done on Broadway this year. The Pajama Game, Sweeney Todd, and Three Penny Opera. So, well, actually, there should only be 2 up there, but yeah.
So you like Three Penny Opera?
Oh, God.
I thought it was dreadful.
Yeah, no, it was awful. It was horrendous. There's a reason they don't come out for curtain calls at the end of those 3 hours.
Isn't there some discussion as to whether the category should actually be filled out just for the sake of filling it out, even if a show gets panned by everybody?
Well, I mean, there's only 3 in there, as opposed to normally there's room for 4 or 5. So on some level, they made
someone
it
must have liked it, but then
many.
they also tended to like that. What was that? The roundabout thing that.
But talking about filling out a category, if I can say just one more thing before we're finished. When I think back over the off-Broadway season, which you asked me to think about too, there were so many amazing plays that I could think of a dozen that would have filled out even more excitingly the Broadway roster.
Grey Gardens.
But there was A Privilege by Paul Weitz. Orson's Shadow, Austin Pendleton's wonderful play. BFE, Julia Cho. Then there was Alan Ayckbourn's play, Private Fears in Public Places. That probably would have won had it moved to Broadway. I think there's still talk about that.
Yeah,
what about Christopher Durang's very, very funny farce, Miss Witherspoon? And the intelligent design of Jenny Chow. I could go on and on. I mean, the third, Wendy Wasserstein's play, Third. Oh, I love that.
You're pushing it now, Simon.
No, I don't think so. Nilo Cruz's beautifully written play, Beauty of the Father. The Little Dog Laughed.
That's coming to Broadway next season. Yeah. They're going to move that.
I don't know whether it's going to make it. That's a tough sell, but for me, it was a great centered performance there.
Okay, but Simon, you didn't actually answer about revival of a musical. Which would you go for, and which are they going to pick?
It's basically Pajama Game of Sweeney Todd.
It's got to be. I think it's going to be Sweeney Todd.
You think so?
Yeah, I wouldn't be disappointed if Pajama Game won, but I have a feeling there's just such a feeling about how unusual, how creative, how
but they'll learn next year when Company comes. Not so much.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting when John Doyle directs Company and we start to say, well, wait, this is his style. He always strips everything down and turns props into 5 different things. It wasn't that special. It was just new to it.
Right.
Maybe.
And the other thing, because we're not going to discuss that, is this cutoff date business for awards. I just came back from seeing a play this afternoon on 42nd Street on Theater Row by a playwright called Nilaja Sun. It's called No Child. Did either of you see it?
No.
You must promise me you're going to go see it. It closes next week.
Aye.
To me, it was one of the best plays of the year. Absolutely amazing. She does in a way what Sarah Jones is doing. She's playing a multitude of characters. I think it's about 17. She plays a school teacher, principal, a janitor, and these kids in a Bronx high school. But it's brilliantly.
Is it a solo performance?
And you really have to go.
It's a solo performance.
Solo?
And pardon me?
It's a solo performance.
Solo performance.
And what you were talking about cutoff dates now? What did that have?
Well, in other words, there are shows that open after our cutoff date for Out of Critics was April the 22nd, and there were many shows that that opened in that weird period between April. See, the season years ago used to be June 1st,
right,
to May 31st, and now there's this sort of no man's land.
Yeah, how did you feel about extending the Tony deadline for Tarzan? Of all things, Disney said
it was ridiculous.
They extended it just because Tarzan said that we're not going to be ready to open.
Wow.
And I kind of thought that was kind of wrong. But has the Out of Critics Circle ever thought about having their award ceremony after the Tonys then?
We've traditionally been first. We're
right,
first
I know.
we're before the drama desk.
A lot of things, sometimes, like I remember years ago, things would win that weren't even open. That was, when Marjorie Gunner was president. Things would just...
Well, but there was also the problem...
No, they didn't win before they opened. They could have been nominated. That's why we have a nominating committee, and we go to early previews. We don't. They're not for reviewing purposes.
No, but what was happening with Outer Critics Circle was the awards came so early, and the cutoffs and deadlines were so early that, you know, there would be 5 Broadway shows that would be schlunked into the next
We don't
season.
do that anymore.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Yeah, we don't do that
very
anymore.
Very wise move. And Simon, it's been a wise and wonderful move for you to be with us on the WGBB Tony Awards
Well,
special.
I thank you.
And please remind people not only the fact that, you know, you're acting president of the Outer Critics Circle, but where can
Not
we...
overacting.
Not overacting.
You didn't ask me about the worst of Broadway this year.
All right, real quick, Simon. You got 1 minute.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, what did you hate? Yeah, I should have asked more of that.
I'm one of the few that didn't like Shining City. I thought it was
It was okay.
a total bore, and I found Faith Healer quite boring and
a lot of people
very
did.
dark and murky. All those dark and murky musings, you know.
But you love the blonde and the Thunderbird, right?
I like the Blonde and the Thunderbird, yeah. But
Whoa. Whoa, are you joking now?
of course I'm joking.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I was out of town when the show opened
We wish we all were.
and closed.
But thank you for being in town with us for the Tony Show. Simon Saltzman.
Well, I thank you.
A pleasure always. Have a great one, man.
Thank you. Good night, guys.
Good night, Simon.